everybody. Welcome to another episode of God, we still haven't named this show. Well, you know it's a live stream for On Top and Hot, and it's being brought to you by Penny Boys. That's my Discord group, folks. Matter of fact, we got a special guest from my Discord group today. Taylor got ill, so put out some light for her. She's not feeling good. Things are
Feel
going
better,
on.
Taylor. Feel better.
Yes, yes. So today we have a special guest we've never had on the show before. He likes to call himself Mr. SLP. Hello, how you doing today, buddy?
How's it going, man? How's the day been for you?
It's been like most days. The market has not been very friendly, but it's been that sort of year. I like having these new charters on here because, as you know, you see my charting all week. And charting is like cooking. Give us all the same ingredients, you're not going to get the same meal. Everybody does it a little bit differently, and you can pick up tips and tricks and new styles just by watching their charting. So thanks for stepping in today.
Absolutely, man. Pleasure.
And he does like to trade penny stocks. As a matter of fact, the stocks that we're going to be taking a look at, he's familiar with as well. He and the people over in Penny Boys have been trading these stocks. So as I said, this is for Penny Boys. We're trying to show you that we know what we're doing. I'm the low man on the totem pole down in the OTC. We got everything there, folks, from cryptos to tokens to NFTs to sports betting to blue chip stocks, whatever it is. You want chat, you want teachings, you want mentors, we got it. There is a link down below in the description, an invite from the wizard. Click that and come on in. So we've got some people with us. I'm glad. That's how we get the stocks we're going to talk about. Underdog was number one again. Glad to see Underdog. Jerome Horace, Belmore, Kishera, Jimmy Jean, my regulars. Thanks for showing up, folks. All right, so let's jump on into this. I don't have anything extra special to throw at you right now, so let's just get on into the stocks we got. I'm going to have to see these, so I'm going to have to put on my glasses. There we go. First one we're going to take a look at is actually a request I got from Leonard Armstrong on my YouTube channel and from Samuel Martin on Twitter. They want us to take a look at ticker ANY. This is Any Sphere 3D Corporation. She finished the day at $1, and it looks like she broke even. I don't know if she had any movement today. I'm thinking she did. She broke even at 0%. It's a penny stock on the major exchange, the NASDAQ. So you're going to be able to trade this free. You're going to be able to trade it pre-market, aftermarket. You can't do any of that with the OTC stocks. So let's first find out what this company does. Sphere 3D is a net carbon neutral cryptocurrency miner with decades of proven enterprise and data service enterprise. Basically, they're mining Bitcoin. I haven't seen any other coins that they're mining. So before we jump into any of the catalysts that's got her moving, let's take a look at some of that mundane information. Relative volume today, we had an increase of over 100%, jumping from 159,000 to 331,000. They aren't big numbers, but it is doubled. Share structure for Any. Oh, look at this. Outstanding share count is only 11.9 million. Low float starts at 10 million. So we're probably in the low float area. That's a nice float. Nice outstanding share count. Financials for the company. All right, looking over the last 4 years, they've been doing roughly between $4 and $6 million. They were taking gains for the last 3 years. They lost a lot of money here. They only brought in $6 million and they lost $13 million. So there's more research that needs to be done there. Quarterly, that's climbing. They were back at 1.3 million a year ago, pushed it up to 3 million the first quarter of 2023, and they're at 5.5 million, taking gains each one of these quarters. Quick look at that balance sheet. They've got some money in the bank, about 708,000. Don't forget, all these numbers we're looking at need 3 zeros behind them. So if it hasn't made sense to you, that's why. Total assets, they've got 71 million. Total liabilities, about 12 million. Subtract those liabilities from those assets, and you end up with your stockholder equity. And that number doesn't come out in jiving. There's about 50. They give us 28 million here. So there's some other numbers here that came into effect, but we are positive. Taking a look at the things that have got this moving. I jumped into one of the most recent filings here about their financials. They make their money mining Bitcoin. They're not selling anything. They don't need people to come in buying anything. They don't have to advertise. They don't have any of that. So this is at the end of September, September 22, August 23, and September 23. Bitcoin mined a year ago, 11. Bitcoin mined in August, 58. And Bitcoin mined in September, 63. Now, what is that going for? About $30,000 roughly right now? Is that right, Mr. SLP? Well, I think it's going for about $30. So, and the thing is, with these Bitcoin miners, they're accumulating these Bitcoins. And as Bitcoin goes up, their pile of money goes up. What they already hold increases in value. They say that their Bitcoin represents a 473% increase year over year, 9.1% month over month. And there was one other thing I wanted to tag on to here. Leonard Armstrong had mentioned an Elon Musk association. Well, it turns out that this company, Gryphon Digital Mining, which is mentioned in a lot of places. Well, I just found this one statement, which pretty much negates all those other statements. On April 4th, 2022, the merger agreement between Gryphon Digital Mining was terminated by the company and the common shares were released to Gryphon as stated by the escrow agreement. Now, I haven't done a deep dive here, but I did see that Elon Musk's name was associated with this company for some reason. But that deal did not go through, as they say here, unless it got reignited someplace else that I'm not aware of. So outside of that, if we look over at the news, just to make sure that's not the right page. There we go. Let's see here. No, this is old. That is all from 2014. There's your production. And that's really all they're talking about is production. We don't have any real news here because what else is there to do? So let's go take a look at the chart for ANY. I can't hear you.
I'm here. You hear me now? All right. So yeah, let's bring up the chart because it's pretty dismal, just probably like everything else with this company. So looking at the chart, we do have a low float. So it's 11 million on the float. So that's a super low float. The volume is up to above the average 10-day average volume. It's up around double today. So there is more volume here, but I'm on the daily chart, so I'm just putting a few trend lines here, and you can see that this bottom support of the channel is pretty much acting as resistance now, right? So if we zoom in a little bit, we can draw this trend line from the bottom here all the way across the bottom of these candles, and you can see we're met here right now as a resistance point. So still looking pretty bearish on the chart. I kind of like to play it simple. I do like to play it off of this MA20 on the SMAs. Yeah. So you can see here that clearly we're underneath this MA20. So once we get above that level, I think that maybe we get a nice pop out of it. So we're probably looking about over 114. Then that would kind of pique my interest once we get over that level. Another easy thing to look at. We can actually go from the swing low right here to the swing high, the recent swing high, and that can also give us some good levels on the Fibonacci. So we can go here from the low all the way to the high, right, to the top of the wick, and we can also get some levels down here and zoom in a little bit. And if you look, pretty much matches up to that MA20, that resistance point. So yes. The biggest move, if you're trying to play this to the upside, we want to see more volume, obviously, and we want to get it over like 114 and hold. Once we get over 114, then I think we may be in some business for at least a little pop up to maybe like 125, 130, at least maybe 10%, 15% pop after we get above that level. But other than that, there's nothing really that I see that's piquing my interest.
How's the short term looking on that? Is there any potential of a pop in the next couple of days? She looks like she's lining up for a break.
Let's have a look. There's weak volume. Let me go into the Ashkenazi. Let me see. So
there we go. The invisible chart.
I mean, yeah, you can see it a little bit clearer now, but we are uptrending. I'm on the 15-minute chart,
Yeah.
so you can pretty much draw a trend line up here, and you can see that we do have a slow, small uptrend from this low on November the 1st. So you can kind of build. You can probably just put a top channel here too, like
Yeah.
this.
Higher lows and higher highs.
Yep. So let's put that like that. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So if we can basically hold this level. I'm gonna get all fancy. Let me put here. So we have like you say, we got ourselves a high low. And then we got ourselves another higher low here, another higher low right here, right? So we want this to hold around this level. So if we are expecting this uptrend, this small short-term uptrend to hold up, we're expecting a bounce from this level. So we're expecting a bounce from the 98 cents a dollar level to whip, to hold up this short-term trend that we're on. That's what I would be looking at short term. Into tomorrow, I would look for a hold of this level and see a bounce from here. Maybe get over $1, and then we can play it short term to maybe like 110, 115.
I'm getting a feeling she's not going to bounce. That bounce we see
It doesn't.
right
There's a
now.
lot more selling volume today. Look at this selling volume here compared with previous days. So there's a lot more selling going on today. But overall, the market was pretty much a sell-off day as well. So look at this area tomorrow, guys. Like that 98. I would prefer over $1, and then maybe play up to like 105, 110. Have a little scalp play there to keep it within that channel.
Sounds good to me. Watching is always better than jumping.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So once it breaks down, you can always short it down. If you know how to short, you can also short it down lower and make some money on the downside.
We don't like to talk shorting.
Oh, you don't? All right. Well, I play both sides, guys. Up, down, whatever makes me money.
I wish I did short, because these last 2 years, I'm sure the shorters have gotten rich.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I got rich back last year shorting, so that was fun.
All right. For those of you who don't like shorters, forgive him. He's just here to make money like the rest of us.
You're not going to have me back on the show anymore. That's it.
Well, nobody's perfect. We all have bad habits, except mine don't make me money. So there's the difference. Okay. We're now going to take a look at NWBO. Let's see if I can see who brought this to me. Was this Underdog? Yes, Underdog. This is a biotech company. Oftentimes, people want to look at this. The NWBO, Northwest Biotherapeutics, is on the OTC, the middle tier. So you are getting your financials audited here. It is the better tier. It's better than the pinks. The pinks don't give you any validated information. Plus, you've got the verified profile and the transfer agent here. That is verified information done by an unbiased third party, the OTC markets. So you want to see that verified information. It's reassuring. They've also got independent directors listed here. The only reason you list independent directors is when you're going to uplist. You have to have them, and you got to list them here when you have aspirations. Now, I haven't read it anywhere, but if they do, and I see them listed, it's going to be in one of the filings. Who knows which one? So they finished at 89.75 today, and another one with no gains and no losses. I don't normally see that. So Northwest is a developmental stage biotechnology company focused on discovering, developing, and commercializing immunotherapy products that generate and enhance immune system responses to treat cancer. The company operates in the US and the UK, Germany, and Canada. So let's get some general information here. Her volume, it jumped up today about, 25%, going from 2.1 to 2.7 million. Share structure. Oh, we got a lot of shares in the outstanding, 1.1 billion shares. We do not know what the float is. I'm not going to hold my breath for a low float when you've got that many outstanding. So I'm presuming it's going to be a pretty high float.
Oh my goodness, it is. It's like 1 billion on the float.
Okay, there you go.
God, that's high. Super high.
Yeah, it's as high as Exxon, but Exxon did it because of forward splits, not because
I'm surprised it moves so well lately. So I'm surprised.
Looking at the financials, she's coming down. 4 years ago, she was at 2.4. at the end of 22, we were at 1.6. She got to keep all that money. She's not paying anything out for anything she's earning. I like that. Quarterly, their revenues are dropped hard. First quarter was her best quarter in a year, $880,000, and she dropped down to $201,000. Again, they're getting to keep every penny. Looking at the balance sheet, they got $1.4 million in the bank. Total assets is $28 million. Total liabilities is about double that. And we are definitely holding debt, $61 million in debt for the shareholders. Ouch. But this is what you get with a lot of your R&D biotech companies. They're not selling anything. They're not making any money. They need money on a regular basis to continue doing what they're doing. Research. People get paid. They got to buy stuff. So it takes a lot of patience to be in an research and development, biotech or biopharmaceutical company. But when they get a drug that gets through everything, all 3 phase trials, and they finally get a license to sell it, which seems to be the new headache that they've just created here, then everything is flying. And that's what we've got going on here. Looking at the, what was it? Northwest Biotherapeutics provides update on near-term plans for submission of marketing authorization application. This is giving them permission to sell the drug. They've already set up a manufacturer for it. They've got this all set up. This was set up a long time ago. Actually, oh man, I think it was like 8 years ago or something like that. Though they've just had recent news here about the facilities again. Well, they tell you here the company's reported that the majority of the MAA has been completed and all but one of the key sections of the MAA have been delivered to the publisher. The company further anticipates that once this last section of the MAA is delivered to the publisher, they will need about 2 to 3 weeks. Now, this came out on October 13th. We will need 2 to 3 weeks to complete their work on both the last portion and the integrated whole. Within this timeline, the submission of the MAA, which is permission to sell their drugs in the UK. The MHRA is the equivalent of the FDA over there. The submission of the MAA to the MHRA would take place between mid and late November. The company plans to provide updates when the delivery is made to the publisher and when the MAA is submitted. Now, to the point about their facilities, I was just browsing through their financials, trying to see if there's anything that would be of interest. Found this. On May 14th, 2018 is what it was, the company entered into a DC Vax L manufacturing and service agreement. And this is what they're trying to get permission to sell. This is the drug, DC Vax. With Advent Bioservices, the MSA, the manufacturing and service agreement, provides for manufacturing of the drug's products at an existing facility in London. The MSA remains in force until 5 years after the first commercial sale of the drug's products, pursuant to marketing authorization. Boom, right there. They're trying to get marketing authorization right now. That's what this entire thing is hinging on. So they've got a facility over there in London. I'm not sure if that's the one they were talking about in the recent news. So that's what you got going on here. Each time we look at this company, there's nothing new. Now we've got something new. Now here in America, people have been trying to get these permissions to sell the drug. Even after you pass all the phase trials and you're approved, now you got to pay a licensing fee to the FDA to get permission. It's just a new way for them to make money. And they're doing it over in the UK too. You get it all taken care of. That doesn't mean you're done. They can still ask questions like they did with the last drug that was getting a PDFUA in America. Now we're waiting 6 more months before they can file that again. But that's your catalyst. So let's take a look at ticker NWBO.
Yes, our beautiful chart, guys. This one actually, I mean, the ones that you gave me on the list, some of them are a little bit rough, but this one actually looks pretty promising. It does. I mean, if we put it the Fibonacci to the very beginning of the biggest move to the top, you can see that we bounce right off the golden fib. So right here, you can see we had this big move from 40 cents all the way up to what, $1.10, $1.09.
Yeah.
We pull back to this is the area, right? So you can put Fibonacci from the beginning of the move to the top. And then you can see that we tested, this is the golden fib, the 618. And you can see we held this level here, and this is where the volume came back in and popped it right back up. So it looks pretty promising. I know that it closed red today, just barely down 1%. So looking at this with my MA20, it's above the MA20 on the daily. I would look for probably a move over like 92 cents for continuation back to $1, then maybe a retest of this high. So actually looks pretty promising. We got TTM squeeze going positive here too from the negative. We got volume. Look at this big chunk of volume here.
Yeah.
So this does look pretty promising. Slides on application delay. That was a month ago. So it does look promising. If I look on the smaller time frame, maybe like the 30-minute time frame, you can see that once we bounce off this golden fib,
Yeah.
we've had some decent volume come in. So pretty much all I'm going to be looking for on this one, if we put a nice little just simple trend line up here, right? Once we bounce off that golden fib, we've got a nice trend line to follow. So
yeah, you may want to watch for that to pull back to that trend line, huh?
You could do that too. So there's always a couple of options, right? So you either look for a pullback, a healthy pullback to around like 85 cents for the trend line, or you can play it down to this 82, which this was resistance, and then we broke right through it. Right. So we would look for a healthy either pullback to 85 or 82, and either one of those hold, and then wait for the buying volume to come back in, and then buy it on the bounce, and then you play it right back up to the top.
I take it your red SMA there is 200.
The 200.
Yeah, that's looking sweet. That's finally coming up.
Things are looking positive, right? I mean, we've got the 20 crossing the 200. We got this nice uptrend. We're up here at the top of this, like I said, this Fibonacci resistance point right here. So we were looking for a pullback. So 85, 82, look for some buys to step in, buy it on that reversal. Once you see the buyers step in, aim for 90 cents again. And then hopefully the next time we break it back towards that dollar range. But this does look pretty sweet, man. I mean, it's not a bad setup.
I can smell it. It smells like honeysuckle. It is sweet.
It does. It does. I smell that. I can smell it right over here. And I'm several states away from you.
We always like it when our charters find hot charts. OJ, BTCJ. He found a couple hot charts, and you can see him getting excited. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you do get very excited when some charts play out the way you want them to. You get real excited.
All right, let's jump on into that next one then, folks. This comes from, I just had it up here. There it is. This is Jerome Horace. We're going to take a look at ticker NIR, Near Intelligence. Finished today at 27.7 cents. Nice gain today. 62%. She too is on the NASDAQ. We're loving these NASDAQ stocks. So what does this company do? Near global, Near, a global privacy safe data intelligence platform, curates one of the world's largest sources of intelligence on people and places. Near's patented technology analyzes data to deliver insights on approximately 1.6 billion unique user IDs. Wow. Across 70 million points of interest in more than 44 countries. So let's get some general information here about the company first. We've got that. That's going to be news we're going to take a look at. Holy cow, and look at that. I just seen her jump. She just jumped. She's probably getting some aftermarket activity. She sure is. We went from 4.1 million shares on an average for the last 30 days to over 26 million shares today, folks. Wow, I like that. What do we got for the outstanding share count? 51 million. They don't tell us to float, but you know it's never going to be higher than 51. Maybe Mr. SLP there will have some information on his Weeble. Market cap, 8.8 million. Pretty low.
Low float, my friend. It's coming in at 15 million on the float side.
15?
15, yep.
15, wow. So the insiders own about 35 million, leaving us with only 15 million. I like that. That's good to hear. Checking out the financials for Near Intelligence. We got nothing annually. Hey, we got money quarterly. Boy, do we got money quarterly. Look at that. All right, I don't know what's going on here, why they didn't have any annuals. A year ago, they had $14.8 million in a quarter, and they got to keep virtually $10 million. First quarter of this year, they did more than that, $15 million. just pumped it up another 2 million at June. So they're up to 17 million, getting to keep 12 million. Their financials, they've got 54 million in the bank, 161 million total assets. Pretty much ate that up with their liabilities, 157, which leaves us some chump change of about 4 million. Chump change, 4 million. All right,
That's
let's see
it?
what
Is that it? They probably have a few employees as well. Maybe like we probably have more employees at PB than they do, maybe.
Yeah, well, when you have digital products, you don't need a whole lot of employees, do you?
It's
So let's
true.
see what we got here for Catalyst. This news, when did this news come out? We are looking at this. This came out September 21st is the most recent news outside of changing their board around, which can be pretty important if you know the people and they've got reputations for doing stuff. The piece of news we're looking at, though, they tell us here leading global commercial real estate companies representing over 200 billion in rely on near intelligence for real estate analytics. And that's basically what you got here. You've got all these companies that need this information, and this is where they turn to because it is what? The world's largest intelligence data operation. I don't think we had any more news going back any further that was likely to move the stock now. Looking at the disclosures, real quick over here, we do have an 8K that came out about a week ago. Let's see, this is election of directions, taking care of officers, things like that. Anything else we got going on there? Lost my page. Another 8K, that's about a month and a half ago. Definitive agreement with Near Intelligence LLC. This is Near Intelligence Inc. And they're doing some sort of it's a financing deal of some sort because Blue Torch is involved. So I don't see anything else going on over here. That's pretty much it right now. But for some reason, I mean, without any fresh catalyst, she definitely is taking off. So maybe something else somewhere online. Maybe there's news missing. Maybe there were some insider buys that weren't posted yet. They'd get posted tomorrow. So let's take a look at the chart for NIR and see if it looks as good as the gains look.
I mean, those gains were pretty solid today, and very impressed. Go ahead, man. Tell me what you're gonna say. Are you excited?
That's all I'm saying. That's a big pop.
There's a big pop, and there's no news. It's basically just popping on no news, like you say. I don't see anything big out there that actually tells us why this pumped so much today. But looking at, I'm on the bigger time frame. I'm going to go to the daily first, then we can zoom in a little bit. Daily does look pretty interesting because we've been. I mean, you can go look at this. Like it's just been downtrend after downtrend. Probably they reverse split after reverse split. So you can see we're up here at like $10. Maybe we didn't reverse split yet. No, it's just I believe this one is probably like one of those reverse SPAC deals because they always start to trend. They start to trade around $10.
What price is that up there?
Around $10.
Yep.
So you can see
this is a SPAC, right? Because they don't
SPAC.
trade. That's what you got, a SPAC that came into existence, and her first day she dropped like that.
That's what happens, though.
Yep.
That's what happens with SPAC deals, man. As soon as the completion of the merger is done, the thing either like a day before, like you see that big spike that we saw right here. That was short-lived. It went to $18, but you got to understand that most SPAC reverse deals, they just go down.
Yeah,
that's
you got to
to
keep
the
in
ground.
mind, unless there's a lockup with a SPAC, the management, the investors, the big investors, they don't have to hold their shares for 6 months unless they say they're going to. That's a reassurance. So when the stock goes up to $18, those guys are selling. And then when it starts falling, everybody else starts to panic. I mean, it's falling so fast. Oh, it's dropping. So everybody starts selling. And that's what you end up with. Over the top reactions.
And that's what we got right here. We just dumped off. As soon as the merger was completed, we dumped off. And maybe you're right. Maybe insiders sold their shares and made a ton of money and didn't really care about other shareholders, right? So so I see a big drop off there. It doesn't look too great. But if we zoom in a little bit more, let me see if it's there we go. If it's better.
You need a magnifying glass.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we just have to really zoom in on this one. Today was a good day, but I'm looking back here. If we want to see continuation with this one, we got this area that was acting support. It's going to be a big resistance point now. So you're looking at around 34, 35 cents is going to be a resistance point. Maybe we see more continuation tomorrow up to that level. But once we get through this level, we can really start pushing up. I mean, I'm not gonna say we can get to $1, but we can definitely get back towards like 40, 50 cents once we get over 35. So on the daily chart, that's what it's looking like. If we zoom in a little bit more,
Yeah.
maybe to like the 5 minute.
Yeah,
Let's see
yeah.
what the
Let's see
5 minute
what a
shows
5 minute
us.
looks like for tomorrow. I mean, that was a big pop today. Is it going to continue?
If we zoom in a little bit more, like I say, we got another trend line around here. It's basically we can go off this channel if you would like as well.
I do.
But we are below. Like I do like to trade above this MA20. So if you're a day trader, you look for volume as well, right? Firstly, you
Yeah.
look for volume, but then you
Yeah.
look for a break of, of a strong indicator that you like to play off of. Not you don't need to trade off of 5 or 6 indicators. You find one that gives you the best results. For me, it's the MA20, just the MA20 alone.
Yeah, you
For
were
me,
showing me that today, and I was very
and
impressed to see how the price was bouncing around that 20, and you could read it. You could read the bounces off of it. I liked it.
absolutely. So this is the MA20, right? And VWAP. I'm someone that likes to trade off a VWAP and the MA20 and obviously the volume, right? And I do like the TTM squeeze as well because this is showing us the strength. So right here, you can see we broke through the MA20. So you would have got in around 16 cents, played it up from 16 cents, put your stop just below the MA20 or trim your position on the way up. And then raise your stops up to protect your profit, right? So you don't want to give it back. So this is pretty much a nice break of the MA20, came back down, it came below the MA20, pushed above again, bounced off the MA20, then you would have played it the second time. So this would have been your second entry. You would have seen the impulsive move over the MA20, retest, and then the secondary push is where you're going to get the biggest push here. And this would have been, so you could have played this twice. If you're a day trader, you could have played it here on the breakup, sold out right here, waited for wait for the push and retest, and then played it on the secondary right here to a new high. So that would have been a great day trade. So what I'm looking at is probably a hold of like 24 cents. That's this level right here. So if you're trying to day trade this tomorrow, I would look for a hold of this level, play it off of 24 cents, and then play it back up with momentum, right, with the volume. So you're looking for a hold of 24 cents, play this back up to probably around 28, 30 cents again. I'm not saying that you could, I mean, we could go higher. We can make a higher high just like here. Here, we can start trending right back to like 36, 37. As long as the volume's strong, we can really start pushing back up there and continue tomorrow this nice uptrend that we're in right now. So I mean, this does look sweet. I do like that it didn't sell right off towards the end of the day. It kind of held its levels pretty well. So that's basically it. Above holding 24 cents. Look for that volume to come in and hold tomorrow, and then play it off that 24 cents up to like 28, 30, and then go higher from there, raising your stops.
And I'd watch the pre-market tomorrow. She hasn't been doing a lot in the pre-market aftermarket, but there was no volume. Now that there's volume, we could have people jumping in, pushing this thing to stupid prices before she crashes at the bell.
And you can see here, I mean, the bid and the actual ask after hours is pretty spread out. So I wouldn't take this, for any credit, too much credit after hours with this low volume. I'd wait and just watch this chart tomorrow and see how we play out, like you say, in pre-market into market open. If the volume's there, this is going to start taking back off again and start maybe retesting that top of the channel that we formed from today. So very, very good day overall. But yeah, I just wait for that 24, 25 to hold and then play it with the volume once we get through that again. So That's I mean, it's down 22% after hours. I'm not sure what's going on, if there's like an offering or it's just low volume. So just protect yourself if you're trying to play this trade. Always have a stop loss, a mental stop loss in mind when you're playing this, because when the volume drops off, you're going to see a big drop in the price. So always protect yourself there.
All right, we ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's go to the next one, bud.
Unless you want something, do you want to show a closer chart on that?
No, it's okay. Like we say, pretty much we're going to be waiting for a push above 25 cents tomorrow if you're day trading it, guys. I know that John said that a lot of people day trade it, so let's put the day trade out there above 25 cents with volume. Then you can play into the momentum. Otherwise, it may just come right back down. So
it's that
yeah,
market.
interesting.
Okay, we are now going to take a look at Belmore's JZZI. We've got a pink current stock here, which has the green tick. So she's got validated information, thank goodness. This is JZZ Technologies. This is a 0005 stock. We are sub penny. This is the breaking point for me. I don't look at sub penny stocks any lower than this. That's my absolute low. They just take too long to come up from underneath there. Even here, they can take a long time. This one seemed to have a nice pop today, though down at this level, it's amazing how little it has to move to have a big pop. We got 42%, 43 today, and she only moved 0.00015. She was at 3.5 and went to 5. That's a big move. So let's get some information. Now, this was curious to me. This information over here, it is telling us they are a diversified company engaged in several businesses, active lifestyle, digital media, includes online media, apps, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not what I'm seeing. This description isn't matching. So I come over here to get some news. Well, the news is old. The most recent piece of news we got here is January of this year. But none of this has anything to do with apps, media, or stuff like that. It all has to do with properties, property management, development. That's a totally different thing. So what I did is I jumped on over here into a financial. What's your operations? What's your business? What is it you guys actually do? Well, I couldn't get a whole lot of that. It was sparse, but I found deals they made. October 2022, the company acquired Lion Development Group of South Carolina and launched a new real estate development division. Then, same month, October, the company and Lion entered into a joint venture agreement with an affiliate of Hospitality Development Group of Florida to pursue residential and commercial real estate projects. Then in February of 2023, the company entered into a non-binding letter of intent to acquire the Colorado-based mortgage company O2 Mortgage, doing business as Oxygen Mortgage. So right there, we've got 3 deals that occurred at the end of last year and the start of this year, all to do with real estate, property management, stuff like that. There is no information over here that you can really jump into. You're going to have to dive around and get some more somewhere else. That is about the hilt of what I can come up with. Let's see if there was anything over here. See, there's absolutely no filings. So let's check out the other information. Well, people are paying attention to it. She jumped about 300% today, going from 304,000 to 1.3 million shares. Share structure for the company. Oh my God. Oh boy, they got 4.3 billion in the outstanding share count, and they have 3.6 billion in the float. If the math is correct, they have about 3/4 billion, the management that they own. Let's see anything else here. Financials. Do they have money coming in at the end of their fiscal year is in March. So their year ended March 2023. They did make money. They had no money coming in before that. So they made 114,000 with 44,000 profit. Keep it up. All right. So their revenues have just begun at the start of this year, at the end of last year. 29, 12, 72, 184. They're starting to pick up. They're starting to make more money. Good. They need it. Cash in the bank, they got $20,000. No other assets. $20,000 total assets. Oh boy. Total liabilities, $5.8 million.
I don't want to look.
Oh my God. I can't even figure out that. that's heavy. So we've got negative 5.7 million. What you're looking at here, folks, is like a startup company. They're just getting going. The revenues are just coming in. They don't have any assets built up. Things are just starting. And we see that they've made a lot of acquisitions. What bothers me is that there's been no news since. You're looking at 10 months of silence. How do you get all those acquisitions, joint ventures, and deals and not have anything to say about any of them? I don't know. I really don't. I don't think there was anything else here we could consider except that chart, and I'm hoping it isn't a just a bar
It's a
chart.
barcode, my friend. It's all about barcoding. And to be honest, I don't really chart something like this because it's very hard to try to play off of this kind of chart. So for me, I mean, looking at this, we're barcoding here, and I'm not used to trading these
So
like
you're on
micro penny stocks.
you're
But
on a 4-hour chart.
I'm on a 4-hour chart here, and I just
Well,
drew a
she
few
looks like
lines
she's
that we
in a
saw
breakout. I'll
resistance.
give her that.
Yeah, if we can break above this line here, above this
Like-
line, which we've been some resistance in the past like 12 months, if we can get above this, so we're retesting it now. So this is the area that is all
Yep.
is either a go or a pullback, right back down to this level again. So
And
I'm
you can
looking
see
for a
she
break
worked
above.
she worked really hard to get over that 200, and your 20 is just about to go and
Oh,
cross
it's
it.
looking positive, but like I say, we want to get above this
Right.
line here, and then once we get above this line, I would aim up to this area, the 0.0006. Once we get above here, so I mean, there's some room once we get above this level. Looking at the bigger time frame, though, guys, I mean, this thing, like you say, I don't know what happened to it, but looking at like the weekly, let's go up here. Let's reset it. Boom. Look at this. Look at these spikes that we've seen along the way. Like we've seen spikes go as high as like $1.
Whoa.
We've seen these spikes go as high as $4 from down at 14 cents. So I'm not quite at this one. You're just going to just follow the volume. And I mean, you can definitely get a spike like this once we get over those levels that we were saying. This one went from 0.0086 all the way to 15 cents. So there's an opportunity here, right? But it's going to be a little tough to play. But I would wait for a break above this one. At least if you're trying to play it short term, wait for a break above here. Aim for the top of this resistance right here that we got back here. And then once we start breaking up, guys, with strong volume, we could definitely come out this downtrend real quickly and start pushing right back up to these levels up here. I mean, you can make hundreds of % at this point. On news, I would look for some good news, good catalysts. Like you say, there's like it's kind of quiet lately, but I would look for some good news to come out and play the volume and play the big spikes up with that good catalysts.
If
But
the
there's potential here,
CEOs are
man.
watching, hopefully they would time a piece of news. If he looks at the chart and knows charts, now would be a perfect time to drop a news press. He could catch some momentum on that jump right there. But that's wishful thinking.
I would just be aiming. So like once we get above that resistance, I just be like entering, have a tight stop. And then once we start going higher and higher, just keep raising your stops or trimming your position, because like you say, this one's it's gone down to basically nothing, and then we've seen some huge spikes. So you just gotta wait for that volume to get into that spike, that big spike, and then take your profits and don't look back. Okay, that's not look to marry the stock. Let's just make the money, get out.
Yeah. Don't marry a stock. You know, every now and then I'll say something harsh about a stock because it deserves it as far as I'm concerned. And somebody takes offense to it, really takes it personal. And then you go to their page and you look, and that's all they talk about. That stock. It's like, I didn't mean to offend your wife.
Just like these kind of stocks, you just get in and get out, right? You just like date them. It didn't go. It went well for your back pocket, but it's done. You know, you're out.
You know how most of these sub penny stocks are HODLs. People accumulate them at these super duper low prices, get 1 million shares, and they wait. They wait for that day for it to pop. Hit 001, hit 01, and make yourself 100,000% gains. That's what people are doing. And I guess if you've got the patience, but here's what's happening. So many companies are in such bad shape right now. They're doing reverse splits. They're going off the market. They're not filing. They don't have money. You end up buying all these shares and then they take them all back. And then they do another public offering. And all you end up with is a few shares for a lot of money. So you're not getting the deal you think you're going to get. If they sit down there too long, things can change, and they aren't changing for the good here recently.
Does this company have some kind of other net income? Because I'm looking at these like income statements, and it shows here revenue 12K, and then there's a net income of 1.3 million. Like, are they getting income from somewhere else? Because I see revenue 72K, net income 900, profit margin 1200%. So
we would have to do some more due diligence because they didn't give us a lot of information there.
I'm just looking at these numbers here on if you look at my chart, you can see net income
so
is a lot higher than their
reason
revenue.
to look. She's on the chart hot. It's not the best chart, but I mean, this is what I look for, a breakout over the 200 after falling for a long time. So that's right. Her price is a little scary, but she's got a lot of catalysts sitting on the table. We're just waiting to see how long does the popcorn have to be in the pan before it pops? It's been there for 10 months. Something should come out. It's been almost a year now.
Mate, it hasn't really traded above the MA200 for some time now. So you're right. This could be a start of a big move. Definitely one to keep your eyes peeled and watching for sure.
All right, what do we got here? 15 minutes. Let's see if we can squeeze in at least two more.
Bonus round.
Speed charting.
Yeah,
I do that every morning. So we are going to now take a look at Kashira's DZCA. Thanks for showing up, Kashira, and I appreciate you following me on Twitter too. So we are looking at Drescana, ticker DZCA, finished day at 30 cents. Another big gain, 81.82% today. This is a pink. Folks, whatever they tell you with the pinks, take with a grain of salt. I have lost more money. I was just telling Mr. SLP about that. I have lost more money on pinks than any other tier on the markets. They make deals, then they break deals. They make deals and they break deals. And if you don't take your profit, you're going to end up holding the bag for a long time. So we've got some big news here. But this big news comes on the tail of them breaking another deal to get into this deal. I'm not happy about that. It looks a little wishy-washy to me. So Drescana, let's get some information. She's got a verified profile and a transfer agent. That's important. Don't overlook that with pinks. Shell company. That means they're not in business. They're not making any money. They're looking for an opportunity if they're a legitimate business. So let's take a look at our relative volume. 24,000 dropping to 4,000. Ow, that's a huge drop in volume, and they weren't big numbers in the first place. Share structure. We've got a low float. Wow, I wonder if that's accurate. Outstanding share count is just about 10 million. Insiders own most of it, 8.5 million. That gives us only 1.5 million shares. That's a kick butt float, folks. This thing gets some volume. It can rip. And when it rips, don't think, how high is this going to go? If you got to ask that question, get out. Sell something. Take some of those profits. It isn't going to stay up when it starts to rip because a low float comes down just as fast as it goes up. Market cap, 1.6 million. Financials for Dres. They shouldn't have any money over here because they are a shell company. What's their balance sheet look like? Oh my God. Ooh. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Total liabilities, 228. So you know what our stockholder equity is. Minus 228. This is a startup company. So let's get into why we're looking at it. It was this piece of news that came out on the 2nd of November. Drescana announces change of control, change of business direction, and corporate actions. So before I get into what they're doing, it tells us right here, Drescana has abandoned its planned entry into the biopharmaceutical industry as part of the change in control and reverse merger at its final legal stage. Okay, so what you doing now? The company's new business direction is within the emerging electric vehicle industry. They are working with discussions concerning the acquisition of Drescana. Drescana is being swallowed up. It isn't Drescana swallowing the other company up. Began this summer with due diligence by parties completed By early September, members of the Drezhkana team visited EV Electra's Research and Development Center in Lebanon, reviewed and drove a pre-production model, performed financial due diligence. So it looks like they are considering this deal a reverse merger with this electric vehicle company in Lebanon. Now, I've got no problem with Lebanon. I just have a hard time imagining electric cars coming from there. In either case, in either case, that is what's going on. So we're looking for some completion here, some more information. Now, again, I say take this with a grain of salt. Don't put a lot of money on something that they can change their mind again. I mean, it probably ran on the news of that last deal and then fell. So that's what happens. We've got nothing over here for filings to consider for information, not since 2016. And you've got a quarterly report here, but it's not a 10K. It's not a 10Q. It is a disclosure, I believe. Let's see what they say inside here. Ooh, you might get... You're going to get more information in this. It's stronger than a disclosure. They've got many levels of disclosing information. You work up that tier. Your first decent tier is at the QB. That's when they start auditing and have a CPA looking at themselves. So we've got no new information over here, no new disclosures, nothing on the financials. I don't think there's any other news outside of that. Look at this. Cannabis. So they were talking about cannabis as well at the end of 2022. Come on, this is just a little weird. That's a lot of different businesses. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this.
Pick a direction.
Pick a direction. Start making some money. This company's at 30 cents and they got nothing. The only thing they have is liabilities, and they're at 30 cents. We're looking at companies that have at least $1 million at sub penny stock prices. I don't get it. So DZCA, let's take a look at that chart.
All right, you ready for it? Let's bring it up. Okay, so this chart doesn't look so bad because I was looking at the performance on the 1 month, 3 month. I mean, this is some big numbers, man. 800% on the 1 month. I mean, that's impressive. And then on the 3 month, it says I don't know if this is correct. It says 99,000 on the 3 month. So
it probably went under.
Yeah, it did. Look at this. I mean, it went from basically next to nothing.
Yeah, if it goes
went
under
all the way to 84 cents.
Every time it moves a couple zeros, like from 501 to 0001, that is 99,000% gains. And
you got to get me up to date with this OTC stuff, man, because that's a pretty big move. 99,000%. That's impressive. Congrats, whoever played that from the bottom to the top.
We can't catch those because you can't buy it less than 0001. That is the absolute lowest. They'll sell it to you on the open market.
I do actually like this one's. I mean, after that big move, we got ourselves a little wedge forming right here, right? So we got ourselves lower highs, and then we got ourselves some lower lows. So we've formed this wedge that we're in. So
yeah.
For me, we kind of keep this simple. I changed it up. These are the red are resistance lines and the green are support lines. So we got support at 23 cents. So, and we have resistance around, if we can break above, say, if we can break above the wedge, we can probably retest at 41, 42 cents, this resistance here. Once we break above this wedge, it's going to be tight. So say above 37, 38, then you can probably get at least 10% out of it. Once we get above this 41 cents, 42 cents, we have some room towards, we can probably start moving. Let's put some lines on this chart. Hold on. We can probably aim for up here. We can probably aim for around here as well. So I say if you want to play this safe, you want to wait for it to break this resistance of 41.5, 42 cents. Once we see a break of that level, then we can enter and play this up to the 50s. I think we can probably get 20, 30% out of this once we get and break that resistance, right? It's all about patience and just letting it play out, waiting for the right moment to jump into that trade, right? So once you got your levels drawn out and mapped out, it's just a lot more simpler to follow along with a plan, right? So
yeah, and I guess the key point here is that most people may choose an entry, but very few people choose an exit. They're just playing, looking for the highest they can go. People who make consistent money have exit plans. They know where they're getting out. Don't worry about what you leave on the table. Worry about what you take home.
So before you get into any trade, you map it out. You map your entry. You map where you want to start taking profits, and then you map out your stop losses or what you're going to do once you're in profit, like raising stops or whatever. So I like to map this out. So we either bounce from that 23 cents, which is support, and we bounce there, and you can make some good profits on the bounce. Or if you want to play the momentum side, you wait for that break of 42 cents and then you play more upside, because that means we're breaking out of our wedge, probably likely to form higher lows, higher highs, and the volume's there. So I think that the momentum side makes sense more for, obviously day traders looking to day trade the volume and breakouts. You want to wait for that breakout. But if you're looking for like a bounce off of a support, look for a bounce off of 23, 24 cents. And then play it up to pretty much where it's at now, probably like 28, 30 cents on the bounce. So there's always good ways. It was always good to have 2 or 3 ways to play things, right?
Yeah.
Breaking above, bouncing off support, breaking below to play the short, whatever. But when you have different plans in place and one works out, then you can go from there with that plan. So I do like this one though. Once we break over, say 42 cents, I would say.
All right, we are closing in at the end of the show here. I'm going to squeeze in one more stock.
Another hour? We're not doing. You said one more hour. You just told me.
No, we only do this for an hour.
I'm
I don't know if people would hang around for 2 hours, but God, think of all
of
the
course
stocks.
they will. It's you, John. You're famous.
Yeah, it's not like I lease time and they turn me off.
I've tried to grow my beard like yours. It doesn't work out, man. I have to shave it.
Hey,
It's just too much.
4 years of just ignoring it. 4 years.
Yeah. Good
so
stuff.
I see we've got a couple of other stocks people were interested in. BLFR. I haven't heard of them uplisting to the NASDAQ yet. They've still got things that they're working on with these deals. Until all of that is settled and all the financials are brought together between these companies, I wouldn't expect an uplisting. Stake. Oh boy, I have not looked at Stake. We're probably not going to have time to look at it today. Sorry about that. Stocks Wizard. And we do want to take a look at one here. I know that you had 2 there, Kashira. We're not going to have time to look at ABQQ, but I've looked at that quite a few times. So we are going to look at, where is it? Right here. Bad news, folks. I covered this stock a while ago. This is Yuling's Ice Cream Corporation. The company, they came onto the market. Yuling's been gone for a while. They make a beer. The beer is still being sold. They were doing beer 100 years ago, and then Prohibition came along. Couldn't sell beer, could they? So they started selling ice cream. After Prohibition ended, they had 2 products now, ice cream and beer. Well, then the ice cream kind of fell away, and it had a strong following. The beer is still out there. Then they came onto the market. Everybody expected they were going to start selling their ice cream again. That's not the way it went. Well, the news we got here is that just recently, back in September, Yuling and Pickle Jar were doing a merger. Nope, they're not. This is a pink, folks. Take notice how many deals are broken with the pinks. It is disgusting. This is where I've lost my money because I trusted people, trusted these news presses. They tell us here that they have terminated that agreement. Yuling and Pickle Jar Holdings today announced they've entered into a mutual agreement to terminate the memorandum of understanding dated September 29th. Is there anything else here? The decision provides our shareholders with clarity. Though disappointed with the outcome, we move forward with our other options. What other options? Going back to ice cream? I don't know.
Yeah,
so that sucks. Now, you're probably going to look at the chart and see she was running nice. She was taking gains, and that's what happens. These pinks are dying to get their prices up. So they come out with big news, and memorandum of understanding is nothing more than coffee at Starbucks. It is nothing. It is not a letter of intent. It is not a signing. It is just a memorandum of understanding. Yeah, we're thinking about it. We'll toss it around a little bit. And yet people take it as if it is a consummated deal. And then when it breaks, you're left holding a bag because you believed it was going to happen.
I hate bags, man. I don't like bags.
Don't trust pinks, folks. Don't trust them. If you want to play them, but play them with a lot of scrutiny, a lot of risk management. Don't let yourself be taken. I have been taken, and that's how I've learned, folks. I've lost a lot of money on pinks. Only day trade them. I don't care if they're going to become big stocks later. Wait till they hit the QB. Wait till they hit the QB. Got to be at least a penny, and your financials are audited. Then you at least have some assurance you're not dealing with liars. I'm not calling these people a liar, but a lot of these pinks are. They just tell us lies, get the price up, break the deal, come up with another fantastic deal or technology that is just too unbelievable to believe. Yeah, that's right. All right. What was the relative volume around the company today? Wow. Look at that. The deal's broken. Bad news. And we've got it running with 108 shares. She dropped 43% today down to 0065. She's only got a transfer agent verified, no verified profile. That's important information, folks. And she's a shell risk. She says she's in business, but she's not making any money. What's her business? I have no clue what this company has been doing except getting on the market and trying to get a deal together. Let's see what we've got for share structure. Well, there's a big ticker. Look at that. Management own nothing. They don't own anything of this company. None of the common stock. We get everything. 349 million shares out of 2.5 billion that they could put on the market. And I would not be surprised for another public offering. No, I wouldn't. Financials is going to be zip, right? Well, they were making money before they became Ulinger. Quarterly, losing money. Nothing. Balance sheet. They say they've got 171,000 in assets. Liabilities is about 10 times that, 1.7 million, and we're holding the debt, about $2 million worth.
Ouch.
Disclosures. Anything secret over here? 10-2. This is probably termination. Forward-looking statements. Boy, this is short. What the heck? Entry into material. Yeah, this is just them saying they're breaking the deal. Boy, I like it when they file a deal breaker. They just filed their quarterly report. They were late doing it. They were by the skin of their teeth. They had 5 days to get it in. They got it in. I don't think there's anything important in there, but hey, there's not a lot of information here. I would go through it just to see what's up. Outside of that, this is looking like a losing stock to me again. Let's take a look at YCRM.
Yeah, you're right about this chart. This was a big move that it had, and you said this was on that whole merger deal. You said.
Yep, it started at the end of September. Well, they came on the market a little bit ago, and then in September they said they were doing this deal with Pickle Jar.
So September we got the big move. Yeah, we got this big move all the way up to this what is this, like 2 cents?
And it started where?
All the way down here at pretty much nothing. It's like 0007. 000, yeah, up all the way down there, man. I mean, I love to chart, but I never charted these kind of things before. I'm all about NASDAQ and trading.
I think you're looking at something like 15,000% gains there.
Yeah, let me see. Let me see what it says. Okay,
it could be 150.
6 months. It says 6 months. We saw 622%, 400% in 3 months. This also has a sell rating. That has three employees. My goodness, it's terrible. But yeah, I don't know what you want me to say about this one. I mean, it's obviously trending down. Look at that big mountain. Trending. That's a plummet. That's a plummet. That's a jumping off the cliff. That's what that is. So I don't know what you want me to. I don't know what you want me to say, but it lost its trend line. Obviously, we can see the trend line up here. We lost that trend line today. Well, let me put the daily on. Let me see what the daily looks like. So, we wicked down, but we kind of closed above the trend line there. So it's not looking too bad, doom and gloom. But I do see that this is going to continue down. I would assume that this will continue down because there's no good news. The
best thing I can say is if you're holding this right now, don't sell, folks. I mean, you probably are at a loss unless you got in.
Well, maybe you want to sell though, because maybe it goes lower. You don't want to take more of a loss.
If you got in back when we talked about it, you're still at a gain. you're still at a
When did
game.
you talk about this? You talked about this like a month ago?
I talked about it when that news came out about the deal.
Off. You're up then. You're up, man. Jersey, you're making people big money here on this news releases. That's big. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the trade, I mean, obviously have a exit plan at this point because that's a big sell-off. Have a parachute to jump out the plane if you need to.
Yeah, so if you're not in it yet, wait.
Stay out of it.
The company will probably come up. Look, there's nothing wrong with playing pump and dumps. There's nothing wrong with playing these scam things if you are aware of it. You can go out in a hurricane and have fun. Just do it smart. Get in, get out. Don't hang around. That's the thing. You're just playing the rip, the surge. And as Mr. SLP says, bring a parachute because you're not going to have a soft landing. You're going to jump, take that money and run. Like, who was that guy who ran out of the airplane?
Jay Powell has a parachute all the time when he
There's that one guy that jumped out of the airplane with all that money that they never caught. DB something or other. Yeah, be him.
Yeah, be him. But you know what? I mean, if you're looking to play this, guys, you just want to break above this resistance here, which is around 0.0078. Once we get above that level. So you might as well just round it up, right? 0080. Once we get above that level, we see some volume. Maybe you can play it on the bounce there, but I'm looking at a pullback to these levels. These support levels is where it's coming down to, these green levels.
I wouldn't
and you say, if it's a merger that's terminated, I just stay away from this. If you didn't play it when Jersey first brought the news out and you didn't enter, then just stay out of it. Find something better to trade. This merger obviously is terminated. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
The chart is impressive though, man. That was a big move from when you first released that information. Good for you.
Yeah, we've had quite a few of those sort of stocks. I mean, you don't have it. There's two of them I've pointed out here in the last week. They won't fall. Every single day they have been climbing for 20 to 30 days. MELC. That one. It just came out with 2 AI products. They put them on the market, their websites. One helps you with customer service. One helps content creators make content. It works with Shopify, Amazon, TikTok, YouTube, and it just won't stop climbing. It just keeps going.
Anything that you mention in any of your new, when you release press releases, when you mention AI technology, it's hot right now, right? We got NVIDIA with the chips. We got AMD with the chips. We got all these companies bringing out AI to make their, streamline their business. So when you mention AI, it's going to get a lot of people looking at it.
Yeah, and I've said there's probably going to be an AI bubble. You're going to have a lot of crappy companies popping up saying they're AI, just dabbling with it, if at all. And then they're going to all pop away, and you're going to be left with a few. And what normally happens during these bubbles, the real estate bubble, the .com bubble, is that energy suffers. Energy is ignored and neglected and comes down to some great buy prices. And when the bubbles pop, energy comes right back up. So, it's like Mr. SLP says, there's lots of ways to play the game. You've got to just pick your game, make a plan, stick with your plan. That's how you make money. Just don't wing it. Well, I want to thank everybody for showing up today. We got lots of new names here I haven't seen before. Mr. Leahy 617. Mr. And you say we're handsome fellas. That's okay. It's a new generation. Guys can appreciate it. All right. I appreciate it. All of you showing up. Even Pookie there. Pookie popped his head in. Did you see that comment down there, Mr. SLP? Pookie
I did. I see him. Yeah, he's raiding our comments right now. Yeah, I see him.
Another one of our Penny Boys leaders. Definitely a leader. All right, folks. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Thursday, 4:00 Eastern Standard Time. We appreciate Mr. SLP being here, but we do miss Taylor. Hopefully she'll be here next week.
Let's be honest. Come on, you want me back?
I do. I want everybody back. Pookie's got some great charting. You've got some great charting. You guys have got some good conversation and information. I love having guests. I should do this on a regular basis. Nothing personal, Taylor. I love you, hon. Nothing personal. All right, folks. We'll see you next week.
See you guys. Cheers.